What's up, guys, and happy holidays. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this. I call it Santa's Cove. It's my 2021 edition of my annual Xmas visualizations that I started way back in 2019. It's become like tradition to me every year to just get something out, something really bespoke, something unique for this festive season. Also remember to share this video, and also please subscribe to my channel if you're new, and leave a like as a Christmas gift for me on this video and any other video that you watch of mine. And also remember to share this so that people can also see this and also get to learn more about using Vray for Sketchup. Alright, enough talk, let's get into it. Part 1, modeling. Now, very simple. I just had to model my floor, my walls, and then my roof, kind of like a slab but just a rectangular block. I was going to hide in my ceiling lights and everything. The room dimensions are freestyled here, and I just needed to make openings for lights to come in, and I had to adjust the sunlight to also fixing those, and I needed to have glass blocks in it. Glass blocks, which are these are rectangular blocks of glass which allow lights to pass through but you can't really see through, which is really cool, and it simulates blocks of ice also in this visualization, as you can see in the picture, and I really liked it and it's cool. For the flooring, I went to the straight wooden floor which I got from CCO Textures. The link is in the description below. They have the best, if not the best, free textures I've ever used. And once you guys download, please support them on their Patreon. Please support them on their Patreon. They're really doing great work for us, and you should please support them on their Patreon. Shout out ccotextures.com. For the rock wall also, I also got that from CCO Textures, and I had to add a lot of displacement to make it look really real and really realistic, to get those shadows coming from the ambient light I added in the ceiling. Now, the time came for me to add materials. I went straight to red. I had no second thoughts about that. I mean, red is Christmas. Santa Claus's suit is red. It's all red. Really, really nice red. Reflective paint, actually. And then I had to pair it up with bronze, like a gold on the windowsill. Yeah, and then the ceiling I was contemplating on that, either to use green, red and green. That's Christmas. Like the Christmas trees are green, and then the red on Santa's suit. But I went to the blue instead because the blue really complemented the whole space, and it brought the visualization really close. Now you see the color theory on that. The blue made the ceiling lower, but the ceiling height was actually pretty high. Also, I just added a simple mesh light behind on the ceiling as my shadow light that lit up my logo, and then the rock, and then the green wall, as you can see on the preview of the image. Next in the agenda was the furniture. I really wanted to go for something really conceptual in terms of form, shape, material, everything. So I opted for these chairs. I mean, Santa won't be comfortable sitting in these, but they really bless the space. And I had to apply really cool materials on them to really match the scheme. Natural materials also, even if it's a Christmas red glowing light, I had to add natural features also to bring in the warmth in a normally cold room apart from the light. And I had to use a plugin to map it correctly on the surface of the furniture, as you see in the video. If you want to know more about that plugin, let me know in the comments. Just comment down what plugin that is, and I'm going to send you a link, or I'll put a link in the description either way. But if you want that, and if you want a tutorial on that plugin, let me know in the comment section. Now, as for the Christmas tree, I got a lot of good reviews on the Christmas tree on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on my Instagram, here's the link, or you just search me on Instagram at IK_INC_IK Inc. I got a lot of good reviews telling me how detailed the tree was, and I was actually very impressed when I saw it online and I downloaded it. I had to import the VR scene because the normal file, Sketchup file, was really heavy, and it was really cool and detailed. Honestly, you won't really see it in this because they preview like a proxy here, but when you render in the interactive rendering section, you're going to see how beautiful it is. It comes with everything, the lights, the bulbs, everything. If you want that tree, let me know in the comments. I want that tree, and I'm going to drop a link for you to get it. Now, if you notice in this visualization, my logo was a very prominent feature on the rock wall behind. I actually had to model that out. By that I mean I had to import the picture, as you can see in the video, and I traced it out using the lines, and then I made faces, and then simple push, pull, and apply material. I hope you guys can replicate that with your logos. I mean, the more complex logos require plugins for that. I'll make more research and I'm going to drop a video. Maybe if you have a more complex logo that you need a plugin that can generate faces with your image. And that was pretty much it for the logo. Really sweet, really cool, really simple. I hope you can replicate that if you're using this tutorial as a base for whatever work you're doing. So I put in furniture, I put in a Christmas color scheme, I put in a Christmas tree, but I needed things to make it look and feel more Christmassy. Now, I don't know if I've said this before, but interactive render or interactive rendering as a 3D artist should be your best friend when working. Because number one, you want to see previews of what you're doing. Now, most times when I don't have time, sometimes I just arrange stuff and then I subconsciously think of how they're going to look like, either based on my skill set and knowing how this material is going to look when I apply this amount of reflection. This comes with years and years of practice. Sometimes I don't even hit the interactive render till maybe when I'm done setting up the scene, because I already have a pre-op knowledge of what is actually going to look like, from the textures, the bumps, the displacement, everything, and that's just knowing how the software works. But you should use it really well. And in this scene, I was hitting for realism, bespokeness, if that's a word, uniqueness, and one of a kind. I had to work with it all the time to make sure everything was downright to the detail that I wanted it to be in, even from the bump to the light to the way this material reflected this material, or the way this component reflected this component. It actually really turned out great. And as you can see, I carried out a lot of interactive tests, which you see, and they were coming out really smooth. As you can see, I had many choices going on in my head. I had many choices, but as you do the interactive render, you see what works, see what doesn't work. So I'll keep that as a piece of advice. Use the interactive render really well. It's really great. When the time came for me to select the lights I was going to use for this, I was spellbound because when I checked the warehouse, I saw a lot of great lights, but I needed something that would resemble stars. You won't really see where it's clipped to the ceiling, but they'll just resemble stars in terms of different colors. And I found this one and it was really cool. I just added a blend of white lights, green lights, red lights, blue lights to make it really cool. And it came out really well. Really heavy file though. Really heavy file. My system took a beating from the lights, but came out really well. And also the Christmas ornaments that I hung on the side of the walls too. The walls looked bare plain previously, and I had to add something there to make it look more festive and more cozy as Santa's Cove. Now comment down below anything that you maybe feel I may have missed to add or so, because I mean, visualization might be complete, but nothing is ever complete because there's always room for improvement. So what do you think I might have added to this visualization to actually make it more cozy in a Christmas and festive mood? But I had to add presents, and more presents. So I just got the components and I filled them up in the space, randomized them a bit with the plugin I have, the JFK bar, random scaling, random rotation, to make everything not seem too uniform, to make it look real, and also various extras like Santa's milk and cookies on the table. If you saw that, please leave a like and also comment I saw that down there. That's the best piece of detail that I added to this that really made me smile as I was putting it in. Now for the green wall, I had a lot of options. I saw a lot of options on 3D Warehouse also, and also online files of 3D green walls, which were really heavy, but they didn't really. I didn't want to scale. I didn't want to bring anything that would distort the original file, because I just had these rectangular spaces on. So I decided to use Scatter. Scatter, as we all know, is a very, very cool distribution plugin that Sketchup has. Not has actually, they are independent. They work on various other softwares too. It's really, really cool. So I decided to use their own custom library. I just used the medium or tall grass and I applied it to that wall, to that host. If you want a tutorial on Scatter, let me know in the comments. I'm going to drop a tutorial on that, on how I made this green wall, and how you can also use it and apply it to other projects that you're working on. Can see the green didn't actually cover up the whole wall, because I wanted to get the soil material that I applied to the wall to show, which actually gave it a bit more realistic feel. Because if you just covered up, I felt it would look like maybe plastic or it was an artificial thing. But this is actually showing maybe the green is propagating here, it's propagating there, and it was actually really cool. I really liked it. Now, earlier I said that the most prominent feature of this vase was my logo, but that's wrong. It's actually the Santa that I added into it. Now, the Santa wasn't a 3D model. For those who thought it was a 3D model that were asking me online, it's actually a picture that I had to edit in post-production. But if you check out in the interactive renders, I actually thought I could bring it in, because I've actually seen this work a few times with a few other artists, where they bring in pictures and then the pictures receive and cast shadows. Even if the pictures already have their pre-lighting and everything, once they just drop them into the SketchUp scene, and they are oriented to any view you are following, they'll just be there. But when I tried it with this, it turned out really, really bad, really awful. I took it out right away and I told myself I'm going to do it in post, which I knew was going to be more time consuming. But I've been watching a lot of Benny's production. Benny is really good with Photoshop. I think I dropped a link in the description to his channel. I'm going to give him a shout out. I'm going to message him on Instagram, because he really helped me. Even if I don't use Photoshop that much, techniques that he uses, I was able to use them also to blend the image, to light it up, like casting lights and shadows. It was really, really cool and interesting to work on, honestly. Okay, the time came for the final render. Pretty normal, my normal setup. I turn off interactive and progressive rendering. I'm a bucket rendering guy. Only progressive grants smoother images at the end, but I'm a bucket rendering guy. I'm using that since Vray too, and that really, I can't really say it has an advantage over that. Depends on your settings though. My settings are pretty basic. I just increase the exposure, make sure my lighting is set and everything, and then I hit render. And then sometimes when I get changes I need to make early on in the visualization, I don't just hit render and then walk away. I have to watch and see how it's coming out, so that I will know if I need to tweak something as early as I can. Now, it's a known fact, after rendering, you are not done. You're never done. You must touch your pictures. Even professional photographers touch images that they take or shoot. So after, I always hit the frame buffer and I get rid of all the overexposed bits, sliding down the highlight button, rev down, increase the exposure here, bring it down here. Because when I get to post, I really don't have control over balancing the image. Because in post, I just get overexposed and underexposed bits. But in the frame buffer, straight from the render, the raw render, I'm able to increase the exposure and still bring down the highlights, which is a great feature that Vray has. pretty sure when I opened up this software, many people went, what is this? Now this is a software called GIMP, G-I-M-P, GIMP. It's a photo manipulation software, pretty much like Photoshop, but it's free. So it works the same way. It's just used for editing images, and so I use it for my post-production mainly. And you can see here when I'm editing my Santa, this is how I was adding up the lights. It made me feel a lot like Benny in terms of adding the lights and the highlights and the shadows and the contrast, and it was really cool, really cool. And that was it. The result was really nice, and I can say it truly captured Christmas to me. I loved it, and I hope you loved it too. Any resource or tip or question that you have, let me know in the comments below, or you can message me on my Instagram. The link is in the description below. I can't wait to answer your questions. Don't forget to share this video with your peers, and also please subscribe to my channel so we can grow together. Okay, I wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a very happy New Year. I'll see you guys in the next one.